Yeah, it's a little loud. Alright, so this is going to be a short explanation of Grand Ages. I haven't played in a while. Yeah. But at least I can kind of show my kingdom, show how some trade routes are set up, show some optimal trade routes. Trying to maximize things. Oh, we're sieging that? Okay, well, we'll do that. Oh, he took it. Oh, okay. That's okay. Okay, let's start here, because this is pretty easy to kind of notice. So, I mean, even kind of excluding military costs, which are really, really high, like, still coming out ahead. I don't even know. How did they get that? I have no clue where that person found that menu. Units in towns, trading routes. I feel like I don't have that. Oh, it's at the top though. Okay, so I mean, for this person, it's going to be impossible to find these people. This person, basically, one of the best things you can do is going to be to increase the amount they can carry. You know, with carts, load them up. There's no penalty for having extra carts, so if you can build them, you might as well have them. That guy's negative, positive. And you can see most of these people, like this guy's, can carry up to 600. His average load is 535. So I mean, again, he's trying to maximize that as best he can. That'll always help you. Oh, sorry. I have no idea where that guy was. But generally, you know, people move a lot of goods and it sells. I feel like the statistics don't quite show how well it's going. But I mean, if you just fast forward time, like we can put it on 10 times, you can see it goes from 26 million, it'll slowly creep up, you know, every week. So again, it probably could be optimized better at this point, but like, okay, so for this region, this person's going to those two, which are my towns, which are good because they're near the border of someone else's empire. This guy is again making sure that my 3 towns are fed well, and then also trading with them. This guy is just trading goods between these 3 because they obviously have different goods that they're producing. Like this one is doing more ore, whereas this one is fish and bread and furs. This one's producing metal and meat. Aleppo is the same thing. lots of bricks and metal, which are needed pretty much everywhere. Get another small loop. Generally it's not good unless they're all benefiting each other. I think this one has coal and is doing clothes and salt, or is that the only one? So really the only overlap is going to be food and wood between all three. And then this whole area is just for them. That's a horrible trade route. That's not a good example. So the next little area is going to be these guys here. And you'll see them move between each other. This loop makes sure that they're all well and taken care of. And then always at the edge of your kind of little loops, it's a good idea, you know, to bring someone into another loop, so that they always have plenty of trade that they can make. This is going to be giant here. That needs to be fixed, but we just lost that. So you can see there's probably going to be a loop here, and then also here to try and feed these cities to expand into Italy. So yeah, again, another thing, these are the main cities in it. Here we were sending goods to Sirmium or whatever, but we just lost it. Another demonstration, little loop for all these leading from Viore. I don't know why there's 3 traders over here. Seems really... Oh. So we don't even have an army right now. That's fine though. We're gonna lose it pretty quickly, but that's okay. That's not really what we're demonstrating. We could build up an army. It's just not what I'm trying to demonstrate right now. So there's going to be another loop here, Adrianople, Constantinople, these ones, and this is our kind of lead out at Constanta. This is kind of a crazy route. I don't know why he's going here to Mesembria. That could probably be changed. Okay, that's fine. Again, within our little loop, one leading out to make sure we get plenty of mixing. This is good. It looks long, but it's not bad. Because you can see he starts Pergamon, Severon, Mesembria, Constanta, and then comes back. He doesn't need to trade with Constanta again. It's healthy enough. So that'll be our loop there. And this guy, he's doing a nice loop here between this kind of northern region, which we were taking over at one point. That could probably be fixed. Anton Zerdev, let's see, it's probably... So again, not great, not bad. He's not really doing much, which is fine. I don't even see almost anyone going to Kursk, which is probably why they're completely out of everything. Not surprising. Missing building supplies, which means no one's building, and they have an excess of everything. Because they're not trading, they're just storing it. That's fine. That's really easy to sort out. For instance, So if we load him up with building materials, can't remember what else we needed.
Exquisite.
Don't be afraid to take control of your traders if you're trying to expand a city at a moment's notice. Buy everything you need. I realize the city's probably going to be broke. It'll recover. We're still missing.
I can't do that.
So we'll buy some more wood real quick. Don't be afraid to take wood from other kind of more developed cities. If they have traders going to them, they will always replenish it. Okay, so now we're back onto that. And then don't forget, after you control somebody, go ahead and check that route.
Journey begins.
And then just start that back up again. Generally, almost all of my people are going to be on production, and they'll favor a city. It's kind of easier. There's not a huge difference. But if you're trying to bulk a city up real quick, it's going to be your best. Oh no. Your best kind of bet. Also, you can like add extra carts that they desire, even if they don't have the carts yet. And then as they get the cart, they will, so this town's gonna need wood from somewhere. And it's not really providing anything. So we can go down to Kursk. Maybe we can build a road in a second. And we'll do that. That's a nice loop. That makes sure that we're going to bring wood up to Kursk. And the rest of all of this, the clothes, tools, jewelry, coal, we can just kind of trade around. It's not going to be a huge issue.
Journey begins.
We'll start that. We'll definitely favor Kursk at the moment. And we'll go on to production. And I mean, we could even do that bigger if we needed it.
The scenic route.
So this will be good too. This will help kind of spur getting some materials into Kursk, so we can go ahead and expand all that. And again, don't worry about the overproduction. Worry about it early on when you only have a couple cities. But after you get a large enough kingdom and you start trading outside, you will start to stockpile it. But the game warns you a lot about you're going to drive the price down and such and such. It's not going to be a big deal. As big a deal as it thinks. Especially when you start kind of having little sinks for things. So even though we're producing a lot of honey and wheat, it's going to get taken up by our bakery. So that'll help even out that. So at the moment, again, it's going to be missing wood. We're going to see our guy go down to Dinip. And then trades the wood, no problem. Having your roads higher up is always a good
Hands out your
idea.
pockets.
It gets costly with the amount of wood and such, but you're never gonna regret having a better road, especially when you're closer to allies, because that means they can walk that same road as quick. So it's just gonna help you out. So they have a ton of carts, which means a ton of resources are going to my towns. It's just a good place to be in. And again, almost all of these are overproducing. They could be checked again. Yeah, I mean, you know, what do you do with 1,300 honey? It's a tricky question, but in the time that this video has been going, we started at 26 million, and we're at 31 million. So it's kind of 5 million just when nothing's happening, when we're just slowly kind of building up all our resources. The only one I'd worry about is definitely missing labor. It means your town's gonna not prosper and it's gonna falter. Missing raw materials and missing building materials is gonna be crucial. So that's why at minimum you're gonna need somebody on a trade route who is, you know, focused on production and can do that. So this is another good example. Fiore is supplying wood, which we desperately need in Palermo. Palermo is favorited and we're on production. So I mean, those issues will sort themselves out. Maybe not immediately. Apparently also it's quicker to take a boat than use the roads that are over here, so that's good and bad. You'd like to see things be a little better with your roads. And see things like this where this town has 800 wood and a trade route that no longer makes sense. You know, don't be afraid to go back to a town if you think you need it. These people are going to need coal. It's just got to happen. But you know, again, don't be afraid to take this guy, bring him back here, and just buy, you know, all that wood.
Exquisite.
Bring him over here and make sure that at least for a little bit Palermo is stocked on wood. It's only going to help you in the end if you divide up your resources. You know, it doesn't all have to be automatic. It's the goal, but
the route is ready.
It's not even that route doesn't make sense either. Just a lot of rambling. Main things are going to be roads. Kind of keep small loops at the beginning. Definitely just, you know, think about what you're trying to do with your kingdom. Don't worry about all these symbols like excess production. It's just going to scare you, but nothing's going to happen. Other ones though, missing raw materials. That's bad. Probably means you're trying to produce more goods than you are creating resources. Like this town is creating these two things and it doesn't even generate them. The salt doesn't seem to be an issue because we have so much on stock. The pottery and tools, you know, again, not really an issue. It wants to scare you, but it's not really. There's not really an issue there. And don't be afraid to accept all the trade deals you can. People can be bought off generally really cheaply. Occasionally it'll cost you a bunch. Occasionally you get attacked. And that's the other good thing. If you have so much wealth being created all the time, you can kind of afford to create these giant armies that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. Because armies get really expensive very quick. So if you get engaged with this long battle with people, it'll bankrupt you really quickly. And you're going to get this warning all the time. Your current maintenance costs exceed your current profits. Check your balance. That's what I'm talking about. It's just really expensive to have an army. So as quickly as you can, you want to kind of disband all that and win that fight. Even if that means you kind of spend a lot of money bulking up that army. In the end, you have to realize you probably shouldn't keep it around. I guess we don't have knights because we're not in England. But that's fine. So we'll build up some people and see what happens. Ting. Blue's getting awfully angry over here.
This is how it should be.
Yeah, well, saw that happening. Leon Vesalius, like, what a punk.
Let's go. Let's get to it.
And you always, as best you can,
As you command.
you know, you want to bulk up, otherwise you're going to do what I just did. You're going to spend all this money creating these troops and they're just going to die for no reason. Which again is really costly. There's just no point in it.
As good as done.
So before you think about attacking someone, really gauge, you know, how you intend to do it. Think of your strategy and figure out a plan, or else you're just going to be watching your troops die and spending money needlessly. So and then other good little tips, you know, have a scout. Just always try and get one. You don't need a bunch, you know, one or two. If they can build quick enough. Just waiting for that chime.
Let's get on with it.
Because it's good, they're quick, you can send them out, you know. That was a terrible example because he died instantly. But, you know, it's just good to kind of watch your borders. At the beginning, I don't even see one. I built some archer towers. They're alright, but again, to have them be effective, you have to have them staffed. So, you kind of just need to gauge whether having that standing army, even though they're just in guard towers, is worth it. Or if it's better to just hopefully avoid the war.
Heading out.
Yeah, see, there's a ton of them. And then don't be afraid. Okay, so in the last 20 weeks, even though we barely did anything, you know, upkeep military 150,000, recruiting military 13,000. Like that's expensive when your profit's barely $1 million. You just need to think. So again, hopefully that was helpful. Don't spend a lot of money on armies. Oh, they're attacking trade routes. And then when you see all these little spires, you know, it's worth it.
We're practically there.
To check them out because you know it's generally free resources, but it's also a really good chance for you just to get wrecked.
We're in trouble.
So I mean, you can do them with scouts or one swordsman.
Practically there.
It's better to kind of do a little army, scout them all at once.
We're practically there.
Can't find that one.
Let's go.
So profit 629. It's just free money if you claim them. So you get attacked by wolves. I can't even bring it up. So I mean, 200 wolves. You know, if you have a small army, that can really kind of decimate you if you only send 1 or 2 people after it.
Let's go. Let's ride off.
So yeah, like 2,000's not worth it at all.
We're practically there.
But just keep an eye on things. You know, generally you're gonna need gold to do anything. So you want to invest in trading more than an army, because an army will just drain you.
We're in trouble.
So, and then still, you know, even with all this, kind of just the background trading, we're up to 37 million. So you could train a giant army now, and you could just methodically take over things. So anyway, I hope that helped. Maybe it didn't. Take care. This is gonna be the end.